Hello, everyone. On behalf of Halam International Educators Forum, a very warm welcome to all of you. We are a global group of passionate educators, all alumni of Sheffield Hallam University's Education Department. And we come together weekly to talk about important topics in education, from parenting challenges and student well being to digital habits and more. So, every session, we bring together expert voices and real life insights to explore meaningful solutions. So, a quick recap. Last week, we had an engaging session on screen time struggles, especially from a parents and parenting coach perspective. We explored how screens affect learning and attention span, emotions, and daily routines. And we even heard from a young participant on what digital life really feels like today. We have also shared simple practical tips from educators and parenting coaches. Today's session is a continuation. So, it's a conversation with a deeper dive into digital safety, tech tools, and the brain behavior connections in children. Well, meet our experts today. We are excited to welcome two fantastic speakers today. We have got Cruz Anthony Frank, a digital transformation expert, founder of Able Life in Qatar, and an advocate for using AI and tech related responsibly in homes and businesses. He'll share tech tools, digital boundaries, and tips to support your children's safe screen use. Hi, Cruz. Welcome. Thanks for
Hi, how are you,
joining us.
Suna? Hello,
I'm good.
hi,
How are
hi
you?
everyone, hi. I'm good, hi. Hope you all good.
Yeah. Thanks for
So
joining
just
us in this quick time.
I know how it goes. Thank you. So basically, we happen to found a startup called Able Life, and we are into uh, parent. We are mostly into channelizing behavior engineering for autistic kids. So our startup is more into autistic kids plus parenting and all such. But as in a note of getting into the era of 2025, in next 3 years, one in next 3 years, one in every three kid will have attention deficiency, and they're gonna have close to say behavior threats when it comes to their daily activities. So most of the common reason for this is screen time. Okay, screen time for us. Screen time started when we are what, like 15 years old, 17 years old. But for them, it starts with 1 year old or 2 year old. So that became a trigger behavior for these kids. So just because since it's gonna be inevitable, we cannot channelize it, but we can try and engineer it. So there are a couple of tools on board like Google Family Link and Apple Screen Time and Q Studios and Bark. And these are like tools which is there in the market will help them channelize their behavior. And for an instance, so if there is a 2 year kid wants to screams, immediately the parent gives them the phone to watch, or put some cartoons or any of such. So since it is inevitable, we can start with personalized content moderation for the kids. So the parents has to initiate what they will have to see, what they cannot see, and what has to be seen. So for this, these active tools are there, and the forest flora and a few other block, I think, like few tools that I have to read from outside still. So these are, and more important, for these kids is focus on habit behavior. So earlier, in our generation, child abuse was mishandled, right? Like child abuse or beating was another trigger for us, get things through. But now, pleasure handouts are given, or gadgets are given, or any of such, or they're gonna have a seasonal time with PlayStation or this and such for kids. So I would suggest parents can have, say, like a daily screening time together to monitor what they watch, or a weekly screen time together. They can do with few few like uh, reinforcement channels to help them. So these are such which is there in the, what we see with these parents as such for now, because mostly we handle autistic kids and their parents and regular kids, but there's no much difference when it comes to screen time. So what we have not seen, they have pre-seen, and what we are not seeing is just for them to, just a glimpse of it. So I would suggest the parents to use these tools to hand out a well-engineered behavior for your kids.
Thanks, Anto. And just one quick question. Do you think the parents who are handling 3 years old, 4 years
Yeah.
old, yeah, any app or something that helps us to set the limits of the screen time, if you can suggest.
So the digital apps could be, there's an app like called Forest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a digital, like grow your tree concept. So these kind of visual tools can help them, become like, like an active tracker for them.
Okay.
So that then we have so like Screen Zen, which tracks their usage and we can set goals for them as such. And we
Mm-hmm.
have like Freedom, which blocks distractive contents on the website. So these are few tools that we can engineer them from their behavior, like from the earlies, like from 2 years and 3 years, because now there are kids who start, you know, booking Zugi and Zomato or their phone, or they could access to anything. So this is still like the parents' initiative is use these tools to temper the timings, and few triggers like aggression, few triggers like anxiety,
Yeah.
they started bearing it very early.
Yeah.
So what we have seen like after 15, 16 years, they started seeing by 7 years
Hmm.
or 5 years or such. So these tools would do. And Google Family Link, I would suggest families to look into this Google Family Link. That's a kind of an app tracker could help with screen time limits for the whole family.
Yeah, I think it's something called as the APA plans or something where a family
Yeah,
would,
yeah.
you know, take those plans,
Yes,
and based on the priorities, they decide what to have and what not to have.
yes, yes, yes. So the whole
Yeah,
family could get managed.
right. So is it like even in India or every countries we've got it?
So I believe like there are commercial apps in India,
Okay.
but family link should be like it's common for Google any user, because Google doesn't limit what to show for one to one, and their
Hmm.
global market is India. So for sure we have it.
Yeah. Mostly, I think even not only the kids, even the teenagers are mostly using, they would be having this Apple tabs and expensive gadgets with them. So Apple is something, Apple screen time, I think even it has got his own, tool to handle it, the
Yeah,
time
to
limits
have
and
yeah.
downtime and restrictions with that. So I think that is also one of the useful tool. What about this Q Studio?
Q Studio is just it limits like it mostly app blocking and like location tracking and such for your kids.
Okay.
So that could help you like if your kid is somewhere else, or what the time they've been used on which was app, and it just tracks them, and also it has like app blocking. Certain apps we could use, but we don't want them to use instead of
Okay.
the
Right,
the
right.
the undistracted apps.
Okay. So is it something I have never used? So I'm just asking you so many questions here. So is it something like you keep a limit, time limit, and after 30 minutes or something, you can just, block it? Is it something like
Yeah,
that? Usage of
yeah.
it. Right.
You schedule it for your kid.
Right. All right. Do you guys have any questions for Anto?
Oh, thank you so much, Anto, or like Mr. Cruz. Like, I didn't know about this Google Family List, which is link. That's something which is more educating for me in this meeting. So I'm going to go and find out about that and about this forest flora you're talking about, these apps. Yeah, I think definitely it's going to help us out. And one thing, when you told like 1 in 3 children will have this behavior threats or like the issues with digital, that is quite alarming because I'm basically a parent of two sons, two boys, as well as an educator. I have seen the changes. we are focusing mainly on the children who are born post 2010. This is what I have seen it. Yeah, 2010, where there are hardly like 8 years or 6 years when the COVID hit in, and where they were forced to. Even I didn't know it. Like, I thought maybe I would buy him a laptop rather than giving him a phone, the small screen. But later I realized that like I've exposed him to my unknown threat. I really feel it, because they are so addicted right now. Just the 2 years in India, it started in 2019 until 2021. All the education was going on online until the school
What
started in 2022. Yeah.
the COVID
So
school? Yeah.
yeah, so we are mainly focused basing on that age group, like the kids who are born in 2010. And yeah, the trigger behavior is what we have been talking about. And I think we will be talking a lot now because we got Jebin also to give in. Thank you so much for your inputs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Anto. I know, I
Yeah.
understand that Anto has got one more meet in the pipeline, so he would be leaving. So that's what he just told me, that he would be having one more meeting, and he would be leaving us now. But then, anyways, thanks for giving all the steps for us. So we'll have a look at it. We are not pro
Thank you
in
so
it,
much.
but we'll
Yeah.
have a look at it and try to, help our
Thank you.
parents in that.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
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 much.
much.
much for your time.
Right. Thank you.
See you. Bye. All right, so we also have Jacob here, a psychologist and educator who has worked as a counselor and lecturer in psychology, now supporting students as a higher level teaching assistant in UK. So she's going to guide us through the effects of screen time on brain, behavior, and balance in kids. Welcome, Jabin. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Sumina. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. So, jumping straight to the topic, the effects of screen addiction on brain. Of course, as you people know, it would reduce our attention span, just like Cruz told us before. Actually, I also didn't know that in coming years, 1 in 3 children are going to be affected with ADHD. But it might be true because when we are regularly on our screens, our attention span decreases and our brain is overstimulated in the sense, we might remember that when we were kids, our parents used to say that don't spend too much time in front of your TV, right? Now the role of the TV is replaced by another small screen called mobile. So it's like the things are fastly moving, quickly moving. Earlier in my childhood it was cartoons, now it's video games. So things are quickly moving, as I said, and children are focusing on it. Their brains are alert, so we are always in this alert response when we are concentrating more on screen. So they have to concentrate on the game, they have to play it, they have to win, so there is an overstimulation. So ultimately it would lead to reduction in attention span. And then of course the sleep patterns would be disturbed because there is this blue light coming out from the screen, and it would interact with the melatonin. And as everybody know, it's a hormone that helps in sleep wake cycle. So when this hormone is disrupted, there would be obviously disruption in our sleep and waking patterns, and of course less sleep and things happen after that. And the screen addiction could lead to anxiety, depression, mental fatigue, less concentration, less memory power. Mainly anxiety and depression, it is caused due to comparison with others, because we are spending a lot of time on social media and stuffs like that. So none of us post any bad things about us, about our life in social media. So social media is a perfect world. It's like like a utopian society, and we would see that, oh my goodness, everybody is happy in that world. I'm lacking so many things. So children, when they are in their growing stages, they used to compare with their colleagues and others, and they would think that they lack a lot, and ultimately it would lead to depression, anxiety, lower self-esteem, and higher mental difficulties in the future. And then when we spend more time on screens, we lose track of time. And as adults also, we know that if you are if you're somebody who sees a lot of reels in Instagram or YouTube, you would know that we would be like, one more reel, and after this I would rest. One more reel. It's like that. So it's like we would lose track of time. And if we are using screen before bed also, we would be extending our sleeping time. Like we would be rewinding reels after reels, and that's it, as our sleeping time is reduced. Then that would be an escape from responsibilities as well, yeah, when we are addicted to it. Then if we do not check our phones, we would automatically feel this FOMO, fear of missing out. If we are not online, we would feel like we are missing out some important informations. It can happen in all other stuffs as well, because we feel like, okay, something might have happened around me and I'm not knowing, so I should be online, I should be alert. So all these things are the emotional and behavioral effects of using screen time. And like any other addiction, there is this dopamine cycle. Like, even if it is alcohol addiction, if we would start by consuming a smaller amount of alcohol, and it would give us a little bit of dopamine. It's a pleasure hormone, so it will give us a little bit of pleasure, and gradually we'll get addicted, and that little bit won't be enough for us, so we'll consume more and more. That's how addiction works. It's the same in mobile addiction as well. So we our brain demands more and more for the dopamine, and the sad part is that this dopamine won't stay long also. This dopamine effect would stay for say 1 or 2 hours, then we might need more. So that's why this screen addiction. And sadly, all our apps, all the gaming apps and other apps are designed in such a way that we get hooked to it. And there was this one thing, a few years back I was using Duolingo for learning some foreign languages, and there is this streak, like winning streak or something. Every Sunday there's a streak, so we have to maintain it. So I had this attitude of being in the first three position. So no matter whatever happens in my life, I would be achieving that position. It's kind of like a reward to me. That's not a reality, but that achieving in the first three position is kind of like rewarding to me. In gaming also, the same thing happens. When you're defeating others, you're getting some kind of reward, like you are in the top position or something like that. It has no connection with the reality, but it's boosting up your dopamines. But that's not a constant pleasure. After few hours, this dopamine would reduce and you would need more. And eventually, yeah, if you are chasing more and more dopa, this would become a habit. And the rewarding thing, it would reinforce your habit and it would continue. And sadly, when this gets hooked as a habit, you won't find pleasure in anything else other than the screen addiction. So if you take your child, like say we would go out, they won't be feeling that pleasure because their dopamine is in the screen. So they won't be getting the pleasure from anything outside of that screen. So I would suggest that before it gets into a habit, you could help your child get out of that. If you find that your child is forming a habit, before getting into the habit, you can help him get out of that. So once it gets stuck as a habit, it's very difficult. But still, uh, in a behaviorist perspective in psychology, they say that anything learned could be unlearned, but it would take much more effort and time. So that's the brain thing and dopa effect of the screen time. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jebin. That was really valuable, and
Yeah.
it's helpful for all of us. Like the screen time affects the brain and the emotions, and how we can promote healthy tech habits in children. It's
Yeah.
very helpful, and thank you so much. Uh, I think I just pulled out some data about the
Mhm.
recent stats in 2023. So it's like when we chose this topic, we we
Mhm.
we just were thinking that why this matters. So let's have a quick look at the numbers. Uh, you know,
Mhm.
so here are some recent stats which says that children aged in United Kingdom, I'm talking about United Kingdom in 2023, children aged 5 to 16 spend an average of 2 hours 43 minutes daily on screen. Okay, and 67% are worried, 67% of parents are worried about eye strain and other health effects. So kids spend almost 92 minutes per day on YouTube and 67 minutes on YouTube sorry, 92 minutes per day on YouTube Kids, and 67 minutes on YouTube, and 40 minutes on Netflix. So this is the UK's data. If we come to India, then in 2022, the stat says that in urban areas, 49% of kids aged 9 to 13 spend more than 3 hours per day on social media. Like it can be videos or, games. 69% of children who are 12 plus years old, they have their own device, and even in India with little supervision. So the health concerns include, like as Monica told in the previous session, what she's facing or experiencing. The kids face obesity, poor sleep, and vision issues and behavioral challenges, which we spoke in the last session. So these numbers, made us to bring it to this topic. It shows us it's not about banning screens, but it's all about building balance and boundaries. That's why we had a digital expert. He couldn't spend much time with us though, but then he gave a quick recap of all those tools and about your, the behavioral patterns or challenges, whatever you spoke. So that's why we are talking here. If we have got any parents over here, we can have some questions and discussion, but which we have planned that we might come up with a QA session as well later. But now let's have this key question discussion. But Jabin, that was really an eye-opening and valuable insight. Thank you so much. So
Thank
we
you.
are opening up the discussion for the members as well. So this is an interactive part. We would love to hear your thoughts, and people who are watching us live, we would love to have your thoughts in the chat, and also inviting all the participants here on these three questions. So the first question of discussion would be, what does the screen balanced day look like at different ages? Um, Afia, do you have any questions, or do you want to share something with us?
Oh, I want to share something.
Yes, please, Afia.
Yeah, it's related to your question. You can repeat your question so everybody can understand what I'm going to answer.
Sure. So the key question for discussion is, what does the screen balanced day look like at different ages? It can be like the younger ones or the elder ones. How does it look, the screen balanced day?
Okay, so as I am working in a nursery with the children age from 0 to 5, so I'm gonna talk about this age range. So in our nursery, a typical day includes a mix of creative play, outdoor time, stories, music, and lots of talking. No screens involved, and we really see that how that helps children build their social skills, and it also increases their focus span. And parents sometimes they tell us that they really struggle with screen time at home, especially around meals or beds. And one thing that we suggest to in creating a uh, screen free time is creating some predictable routines, like quiet play before naps and stories before bed to reduce their screen reliance. So, if you introduce these routines, it can really help them, have a screen-free time, and it really helps for children aged from 1 to 5. Also, children love, repetition and face-to-face interaction. So every 15 minutes of floor play or singing together can really make a big difference. And it's not being perfect, just intentional. I think that it works best is when tech is treated as a tool for connection and you don't treat it as a babysitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for that.
Absolutely, anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, Sumana, it was the wonderfully said, Afia, the way it is not a babysitter, absolute word in the courts. Yes, but nowadays I do understand because this is the greatest challenge for parents when both of them are working. And what I feel is the screen balance daily. I feel being a mother, I think the screen shouldn't be introduced to our children not until 4 years. They say 3 years, but I think even three is also less. Not until 4 years, or it should be introduced only through the rhymes. And no, it is very hard. We say it like, don't use the mobile in front of a child. The video calling, oh, see my child today, look at this uncle who are in the greater distance. And when Sumna was telling about the UK here, the main challenge is about the weather. Very depressing climate, not now because it's a summer thing, but mostly like more than 6 months. Kids could not go out because it is so cold. So unfortunately, they are unknowingly, even the parents have given this mobile thinking that they will do their homework, which is online. Basically, there's not much of book system over here in UK, which I have found it. They hardly get any textbooks or anything will be online. So that is one reason. So because after I told about 0 to 5 years, I would like to add on a little bit because I'm with the teenagers right now, and I feel it shouldn't be more than 40 minutes or max at 1 hour of homework and done. Then you just turn it off, and I would really appreciate if teachers would give something apart from online, like research. It's become a lot even for the teenagers in the secondary school where I have observed, like they have to research something online and then do on their homework. For example, they have given something about an art which they don't know, so they need to read about that particular artist online, which is going to take half an hour to search, and then rephrasing it where they are so capable enough using chat gpt without any supervision. Yes, trust me. And the typing skills, see, this digital thing has given us the advantages, like their what you could say is the typing skills have increased. And they say about the focus, yes, they will be more focused when it is interesting. And like how Jebin was talking about the dopamine effect, that is what is triggering them a lot. If they are interested, they would do a lot. So I feel about the screen balance daily, Sumna, your question, I think it should be reduced as much as we can as a parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Monica. Yes, absolutely, you're right.
Um,
Because please go
yeah.
on. Please go on, Jabin.
Actually, WHO has recommended certain guidelines for different ages. For 0 to 5, they have recommended like they shouldn't be using a screen more than an hour. Uh, Especially children under 2, they shouldn't be using at all. But nowadays, children are away from their grandparents, and as Monica told, this video calling and all, I'm not sure whether children are recognizing them, and they are forming that real bond. They're just saying hi, bye, but we can't avoid it. Like they are staying away from their grandparents. After age 2, less 2 to 5, it's less than an hour, and only for educational purposes. That's what WHO says.
Yeah. I think absolutely right, Jabin. To 0 to 1, they won't be even able to be recognizing or create
Yes.
that bond, very rightly said. But then, under the supervision of parents or parent satisfaction or grandparent satisfaction, there is no other option for us. So they'll have to do it. So I think video chatting is fine. But mostly we see parents, since they would be occupied in some other work, they would just hand over the devices to even the little
Yes.
ones who can,
Mainly for feeding them.
yeah, who can operate very nicely than the adults.
Yes,
you know
because we humans, our hand skills are really developed. If you take a caveman itself, our hand skills are very developed. So I know a kid who was 1 year old back in 2015. He knew how to unlock a mobile screen because he was every time with that. So, but when we were children, we used to use our hands for playing in the mud or building blocks, something like that. In this special school, in the school in which I was working, I have never seen a student using screen that much, because they're completely engaged in handworks like building blocks and other stuffs, because they have to get stimulation. I think if we encourage our students to do something with their hands, we could solve this problem to a big extent. Like we give them mobile to play, to feed them, and to distract them and stuff like that. So it is causing harm, unknowingly
yeah,
causing harm.
yeah, I think that's the next question you led us to. So how can parents set boundaries without demonizing, the technology?
I think I'm
Um,
ahead with that, Jebin. I'm so sorry to cut you down because I'm like so enthused.
sorry, no worries.
Because I want to just give a practical example what we, both me and my husband, have done it. Like when it comes to the home, no mobiles on the dining table. Half an hour you eat looking at your food. This is what I have seen in one of the article or in the news where the doctor has said like, what is it like? Don't even give. There were times, Jebin, I'm not ashamed that I have done it, but without knowingly. I used to feed the kids. Like he was born in 2011. I didn't know it because I got the two children. I had this thing. The age gap was small. So I didn't know it that it's going to impact. And trust me, nobody else can give me set an example like me. Like, yes, I have done the mistake. And yeah, I'm trying to, come overcome it by doing it. So now what we have done is food not served on couches, not on beds, not in your bedroom, not on the table, on your dining table. You're going to sit down, you're going to talk about what happened to the day. It's not that easy, Jebin. It took us a lot of time. It used to trigger the behavior. No, I don't want to. I want to sit in front of my laptop and eat it. My
It's
friend
like
is
telling an
online.
alcoholic you should stop alcoholism from
Yeah,
today.
they don't like it. I think this we discussed in the previous session as well. If you say it so straight, so they'll be like, no.
Yeah, you can gradually reduce it. If they are using for 2 hours, maybe reduce it to 1 and 45 hours, and it would take time. But still, it's a habit from long, long years since child. I mean, since they are infants, they are using it. So it's easy to cut a plant than to cut a tree. So that's my point.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So it would take patience. Like they would feel like why they are imposing all these rules on us now. They are the ones who created all these habits for us. So it's yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely right.
Actually, after yeah, actually, all these things, skyrocketed after COVID era. Even the schools started using laptops, and all the classes were happening online. Yeah. After
That's
that,
the
there was
bigger transformation, isn't it? When even the
yes.
preschools who themselves know that it is not possible and we don't have any other choice apart from doing online learning. That was like a biggest transformation. We
Yes.
know that kids need a screen time, but still then we try to do something like online, and that was the biggest transformation. That's when even parents didn't have a choice, and it started from there, right?
Yeah.
So I think let's talk about what tools or digital or behavioral have helped you manage screen time effectively. If Monica wants to talk or Mimi
Sorry,
wants
Sumana.
to.
Like what tools?
What tools, digital or behavioral tools it can be, have helped you manage screen time effectively?
Okay, first thing what I did was a simple thing. I'm not a techie guy, but one thing I understand is YouTube is something which has been affecting my children a lot after COVID because I'm not, blaming the teachers, but they were also very new to it. So that is how the YouTube has been introduced to my children in their life. So if you go to the settings, there is something called the recommendations. I was so worried what type of a content they will be watching. So this thing which I have done personally is go to the settings and then just go to the recommendations. There will be parental recommendations and they will be restricted and not restricted, like unrestricted mode. So always make sure, like when even in the YouTube, it should always be in the restricted mode. And turn off all unnecessary notification. Whenever you log into the YouTube, I personally saw it like, do you want to be notified? Immediately kid would say, oh, the same kind of a thing. When they sleep, I'm so sorry to give you this advice, but trust me, it is for your own good. This is what I have done it. When they sleep, just take it, go to the history, just go through it because you are protecting your child from the unknown enemy, which is nothing but the huge amounts of data which they don't know. The innocent mind doesn't know whether they are able to expose it or not. So turn off the notifications. If you see that the video is not good, just there'll be an option, do not, I don't want to see that again, that video. You can do that. Okay, so but make sure that the kids doesn't know about the settings when they're very young. But now unfortunately my children knows it, so whenever they whenever I keep it in the restriction mode, trust me, they do it like, no, don't put it, mommy, because I'm not getting anything, because they are so used to seeing the comments. Jebin was telling about the comparison over there. That's absolutely right. They want to see the comments, and then accordingly they are choosing the videos. That's how smart kids are. They are very smart, and it is hard for a parents to, hold them, or not hold them, to, set the boundaries for them. So I feel the first thing is that the settings, and then you talk to them key why this recommendations or unrestricted mode or restricted mode they have to see in. You have to talk. And mainly when I'm listening to Jebin and you, Sumana, about the statistics, what I felt is, I think parents need to put in two things. One is their time and lot of patience. I think these two will be the perfect tools. Lot of patience as a behavior tool, and time would definitely be, if you give much time to your children, they will not go for this, lot of entertainment. I'm not telling them not to go and watch any movies together. Okay, okay, 1 hour your time, you go watch whatever you want to, but again you come back. And because I have seen that in India, most of the apps, parents has to pay for it. So instead of that, what I have done is, I have an Alexa at home. I would always set a timer. This is a practical thing which I have done it. So half an hour every time. Okay, when the timer, okay, you can hear the Alexa ringing now. Come on, time up now. It's time for our studies. It's like you should have a proper timetable even at the home. Just like, because the tiny minds are so addicted to the timetable in the school for 5 days, from morning 9 till evening 3:30. If a parent can do the same thing at home, okay, 1 hour is your screen time, whatever you do it, and then half an hour is your lunch time, or 1 hour, it should be a proper thing. Like, so it should be consistent in this timetable. It is not one day we do it. And outing is something which would really affect. Don't stay in the house. What I felt is, just go out, do quickly. For this, it will be again a stress on the mother, because I'm a mother. So what we have to do is get up, complete the work until before the kids come. This is what is happening in our house, so I'm just telling. So just complete it, just go out with the children. When they get up, give them the breakfast, sit down, talk what we're going to do. So now I understand why most of the Western people over here, whenever there is a holiday or anything, they prefer going outside. So it has changed a lot. So I think these are the simple tools which we could say. Apart from this, I don't think so anybody would need it. Just the time and patience of the parents
One thing
is
you
very
can do
much
is, I'm
needed.
sorry. One thing you can do is, you can let them set the rules for them. I used to do that with my students, because whenever they have assignments, I used to tell them to plan their assignments and set their dates. But they would be accountable for that. If they do not keep assignments on that date, then they would see a different face of mine. So students would be really responsible, because if they do not submit their assignments on the time, I would ask them, so you are not responsible, you don't value your own words. So they would be obeying, like, it's the easiest way. Let them set the rules. So they would be
Easy.
accountable.
Absolutely, Jabin. Yes, accountability is what we need to inculcate in the young minds. It is
Yes.
what now. When you're telling about escaping from responsibility, that's exactly what happens, when they are watching for the screen time and we are doing the cooking and all, they would definitely have this, oh, when I call them, like, could you please come in? They said, like, no, I'm in the middle of the game. Please, I can't do it. Even if they are not in the middle of the game. That's what they have developed. These are called a developing. They have developed this kind of a behavior issues. So yeah, I really love the dopamine effect thing, which was like the Duolingo thing. Though it is
Yeah.
an advantage, yeah, they are improving it, but still, we are smiling. But there was this case in India where a child jumped out from a building because of the PUBG game. I don't know how many of you are aware of it. So that. But when you are talking about the dopamine effect, Jebin, I got that. Oh, okay. So I was thinking, like, wondering, like, why would anybody do such a thing? Just for the sake of a video game, people would just commit suicide. And
It's
then
like,
they were,
we say addiction is not a behavioral disorder, it's a brain disorder. So brains are getting affected, not your behavior. That's what we were taught. So until then I didn't know. I thought, like, okay, if you're an alcoholic, that's your behavior defect. But no, it's a brain disorder. That's why these things are happening. So addiction also, it's a brain disorder.
yeah, very true. Because earlier we never used to know. When I was a child, I never know about a psychologist. I never know about a children, what you say, a counselor. We never had
Mm.
anybody like that. But you could see it now because of the technology, though it is like advantage, even the disadvantages is more up higher. So we need to balance it. And it starts from the house, from the parents, and then to the teachers. And even the teachers should take a minimum 10 minutes of time, like how much did you see in the home, and then targeting, because for children more than parents, whatever a teacher say
They're
it,
spending
I
more
think,
time in the school.
yeah, and they're spending more time and they take the teacher as a mentor for them. They are like an
Yes.
idols for them. So here the teacher's responsibility come into play a lot, like,
Mm.
okay, this is what we are doing, and setting up little examples like this is what I do with my child. So what do you do? Did you go out with your parents? Apart from just coming and just teaching the academics, it is like, maintain that personal this thing, like, okay, this is what we can do.
Unfortunately, I think that's not happening in UK schools because I have been to many schools. It's like teachers come in, they take their portions, that's it. And not only that, above all, here students don't sit in one single class. They are just running for 5 hours. They would be sitting in five different classes. So it's like they don't have that mental connection with the teacher, which is really different from India. In
Yeah.
India, I did have a mental connection with all my students. It's not the same here. So that's a
Yeah, that
problem.
That's
Yeah,
one challenge over here in the mainstream. But I would like to add one more, like one my teacher, because I work in an SCN secondary, Jabin. So here, what
Wow.
the children wouldn't move, the teachers would come just like in India. So I don't find it so
Yeah.
much different. Yeah, unlike in the mainstream where the children have
Mainstream.
go into different sections, yeah, for the thing. So what this sir would do, like now the term holidays are coming, he is so nice, said, okay, let's go, and he would give us puzzles. Okay, it
Mhm.
was like unscramble letters, and then he gave the
Mm.
places, and then he started talking about, it was just not much, it's just 10 minutes of his time, and what are the places you have been, and then he opened the Google Maps, and then, oh, you have
Mhm.
been to this place, let me check. It was so informative, and people started, like, even the kids who were not interested, they just looked up their heads and said, oh yeah. So he has practically shown them, this place is so beautiful, you can go over here, what is good with this, where we can go for golfing, where is a good place for football. I thought, like, maybe yes, he is really a mentor for me, like I learned so much from him. Yeah, you can even tell the child, he's guiding him. Definitely the child will go home, because when I came home I said, oh, do you know Scarborough Beach, it is so near to Sheffield, it is so beautiful, let's go there, because I didn't know it. So this is what I
Yeah.
feel like, Jebin.
Yes.
Yes, teachers' responsibility as well as, and even the parents. I know parents would think like for every time you cannot take it because financially, but plan
Mm.
something which is very easy for you, like outing. And fortunately in UK, why I'm stressing out, the parks are so beautiful over here. You can go out, just simply go out. You need not pay, just take your food, whatever you have prepared it, just take out and you listen to the birds. Unfortunately, which is not available in India. I know, Sumana, what would your question would be?
Oh,
Mall?
but then India saves us with Chat Street.
So let's use
I think
use of
similarly,
park.
it's with Mimi
I
and
came to
Nube
know
as well.
lastly that UK schools would be introducing something called yonder pouch. That is, the students have to lock their mobile when they come to school, and they won't have access to the mobiles until they leave the school. It would get
Yes.
unlocked only after they leave the school. So
Yeah.
students were asked to say the advantages and disadvantages of this pouch. Few schools in the Sheffield has started it already.
Yeah, we
So,
started it in ISCN. Yeah, but
oh,
what
is
we
it?
do is like, yeah, we have this basket sort of thing, a tub
Okay.
where the children has to put away all the gadgets in it. So by the
Mhm.
time they come, we will just tell them it is time. So that's what
Mm.
I'm telling. Setting up a routine for the children, they will get adjusted to it. Maybe in the
Yes.
starting they might find it difficult, but it's been more than 4 years after the COVID stopped. So what happened?
Yeah.
I think here, even during the COVID days, I heard that the 2020 also the schools were running in UK, unlike in India. So yeah, they are used to it. So what they will put all the gadgets inside, and that will go inside. We have this room where we lock, always it is locked. all the accessories, the stationery, the materials and all. So it will be in that cupboard, and then we're going to give them only during the time. So yeah, in the school they will not use it. So that's what I'm telling. So when they come back home, they will be craving for it. Oh, from morning I didn't use the mobile. Let me do it now. That's where the challenge
It's
for the
very
parents.
different from the mainstream students. They're using it every time in
Oh,
the
even in the
school also.
class, isn't it? Even in the
Huh?
class. Even in the class.
Yes, yes. you know, it's
Okay.
hectic. Like, when you're a
That
cover
that's
supervisor.
more I mean that's more challenging for educators as well. Do you
Yes.
want to share something, Mimi, like or Nube, based on experience?
I just I agree with everything, and then I just have one question for Jabin. When we're talking about tools, Monica has shared as a parent, you should have these. Basically, that is the most challenging part. Patience and time for parents. They've been working all day long. Where is that energy for that? Okay, anyway, that's for the parents. But for Jabin, I'm just curious, since you said these like one tool that you said is to keep them more accountable or be responsible, then I
Yeah.
think that's where the discipline, or we should call like the routine, or I don't know, the expectation, maybe rules, that comes in, right? So what would be an appropriate or some sort like agreeable terms that you will use on your students to make things work, to make that,
Uh,
to make it balanced? And I agree with Monica, consistency is very important. And do you think any sort of discipline that should be shared to other schools that we should try? That would be helpful. Thanks, Chairman.
yes. Thank you for your question. It's like when I was working as an assistant professor in India. So there we do have occasional assignments. There it is handwritten assignments, not typed assignments. So yeah, we do not use tech that much in India. I do not know the condition as of now. It was before COVID. So
Ah, yes.
handwritten assignments. So for every subject, they do have 4 to 5 assignments per subject. I was teaching undergrad students. So it's like I told them, okay, you have to submit this assignment within this term, but tell me your convenience, tell me your dates. So you will be responsible for that date. So students were like, they told, okay, we'll submit in this date, and most of the students agreed to it. And I was like, okay, then we didn't discuss anything about that. And the date came, and I asked, okay, where are the assignments? So half of the class has written it, half of the class hasn't written it. So I gave an emotional speech. I could give an emotional speech because I had great mental connection with my students. I was like, okay, so you people are 18 plus, and this is the responsibility you are showing to me. This is the love you are showing to your teacher. I have loved you like anything, blah blah blah. It's all emotional manipulations, because I know that they love me and I love them as well. So they cannot hurt their favorite teacher. So they were like, we are so sorry, miss, we would submit the assignment now. And they cut their other classes. They went to canteens and all. They had written the assignments on the day itself and submitted me before the school ended that day. And it's like, basically, it's the love I share with my students and a little bit of emotional manipulation. Like, if you love me, you would have done it. If you had loved yourself, you would have done it. See, I see you as an adult. They are teenage, they are almost ending their teenage. So I was like, I see you as an adult. So as an adult, you told me you would submit this assignment in this date, and you didn't do. Now how can I value you or respect your opinion? This is the emotional manipulations I have done. Actually, we can work the same tip to our children if we are mentally connected with them. Because when I was a student, I never wanted to hurt my favorite teacher. So this is the same principle I apply to my students. It's basically the love. It's basically
That
the
is
love,
so
which is
sweet.
which is which is missing in UK schools,
Oh
because
yeah.
students are like, oh, if I do not obey this teacher, that's it. The teacher should listen to me.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the pre-COVID situation, Jabin.
Yes,
Even in
yes.
India, post-COVID, the generation is like so different. You cannot expect mental connection. Just like trust me, even after every class, you and me, like all of us, we
Mhm.
know to thank our teachers, right? I mean,
Yes,
like
yes.
saying that little bit of like thank you. Nowadays, it's not thank you. See you, ma'am. Bye. There you go.
it,
That's
it,
it.
it, it's
It's
the
so changed.
influence of the
Western culture as well,
yeah,
mostly.
the difference in the culture. But still, I do believe that love has got a say in it, because I still do have connection with my students, my then students,
That is
even
true.
after 4 5 years. Yeah. And we can train our little children, like from primary school we could train them. I have worked in primary schools here in the UK as teaching assistants. So I have seen in some schools teachers you know uh, training them to have discipline, like you are not supposed to do it, because little children listen, they do listen. We can train them. And there was this one teacher, I was really impressed by her. She's like, you cannot sit like this in class, sit properly in my class. She was like, and the next moment she would be showering them with love. It's like love and discipline, love and discipline, that's it. And students listen as well. So when these students grow up, they would always remember this teacher. So it would be better to start from the beginning, from the primary years itself.
Yeah, very rightly
Yeah.
said. I think
Mm.
that connects with our kids while balancing our screen time as
Yeah.
well. Nuwe, did you have something to talk?
Hello. No, actually, just wanna ask the same question like Mimi. So, Javin already answered. That's why I lower my hand.
All right. Thanks, Nui. So I think here we go with all these insights. We go with the key takeaways for today. Let's quickly summarize the main key takeaways from today's session. So from our digital safety expert who was there, unfortunately, was there with us like for a very short period of time though. So he has just shared some thoughts. It is all about to use age filters like even Monica said, YouTube Kids and Safe Search. So set up some parental controls. Example, it can be called as Q Studio, which I asked Ant about it. There is something called as a Bark and also Google Family Link. You can set up the controls over there and create screen-free zones as well. Example, it can be a bedroom or dining table. When you have your meal, you can have a screen-free zones. And also something important, practice co-viewing. When parents really have got time, practice co-viewing. Watch the content with your child to guide and support. As Monica said, watch the history later and then ensure that you block it, right? Then the quick tips for the digital safety is use timers or limits to manage the usage. Keep the devices out of bedrooms at nights. Let your child help pick what they watch or use together. And from Jebin, so we have got this thoughts. Excessive screen time can affect sleep, mood, and focus. So follow the age-based screen limits. Example, it can be 1 hour for under 5 seconds. And tech activates the brains, so you can use the reward system for kids. So set limits kindly. Frame tech as a tool for learning, creativity, and the connections. The quick tips for this will be keep screen free routines, especially before bed, and ask your child how screen time makes them feel. Mix screens with offline fun, like it can be a board game, or you can offer something different. You can buy them some different toys, etc. So, movement, play, and hobbies. So, wrapping up the session, that brings us to the end of today's session. A huge thank you to our amazing guests, Anto and Jevin, so for sharing such practical and thoughtful insights today. We hope today's discussion helps all our parents to feel more confident navigating screen time at home. We'll be back soon next week with another helpful session. So stay tuned and feel free to suggest topics you would like us to cover. So please check in the chat for our forum page link. So if Monica or Mimi could, post it there. Don't forget to like us and follow us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Subscribe us to stay updated about all the educational related topics that we would be discussing every week. Um, do you want to post it, Mimi or Monica? Or
Okay.
no worries, I've got it.
Then to Monica.
No worries, I've got it here.
Thank you.
All right. There we go.
Could you just check that? Is that okay? That Facebook link and the YouTube one which I have posted?
Oh, did you post something, Monica?
Can
I'm
you just
sorry,
check?
I did not.
Can you just check the chat, or is
Yeah,
that
I
the
have.
one? Yeah.
I've just
Thank
posted
you
it
then.
right now.
Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sumana.
it's all right. So,
Thank you so much.
until next time, thank you for joining us. Take care and have a great day ahead. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Jeben.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sumana.
Shivin.
Anyway,
Thank you,
anyway,
Mimi. Bye.
Afia.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Nue. Bye, Monica. Bye.
Bye.